Good morning. I'm Don, and I kind of look like remember that movie with Warren Beatty? What was it? The Heaven one, the one about heaven. Anyway, that's kind of what I remind myself of right now. For some reason, there's a very warm glow behind me. Hopefully, I'm going to survive this whole taping, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, speaking of strange, which is kind of how I'm acting, I couldn't help but respond to to what Romney was saying lately about Newt Gingrich being zany. This coming from a man who, as we all know, wears special underwear, believes that the black race came from the battle of good and evil when Satan was kicked out of heaven and he was sent to earth and his skin turned black. Let's see, who when in their wedding vows makes a pact, a death pact, where they actually kind of do the symbolic slit your throat deal. They believe in baptism of the dead. On and on and on. But Newt is the one who's zany because he has, he has some pretty creative ideas on how to fix things in the country. So I'm just kind of fed up. I'm disgusted about the way the media and other Republicans have treated Gingrich. I think it's disgraceful. And personally, if Mitt actually gets the nomination, which I pray to God does not happen, I'm sitting it out. And I think a lot of people are going to end up sitting it out if I had to guess. I know I'm not the only one who feels this strongly. And it's not just the Mormon thing. I mean, but you know what? People refuse to be politically incorrect about that issue. But the reality is Mormonism, I'm sorry, is a cult. It is completely, I mean, if we had somebody who was running for president who was a Scientologist, would that not be an issue? Of course it would be an issue. But for some reason, it's become politically correct to not refer to Mormonism as a cult, when obviously it's a cult. It's a religion that's been around, 100 years? Okay, maybe 150 years at the very most. All you got to do is read up on it to know these people are if any adult that actually is able to have a functioning brain and actually believes in Mormonism, there's something psychologically wrong with them. I'm sorry. It just, as long if they actually believe it, which, I mean, if you're a member of the church, you're going to church, you're tithing your 10% automatically, you've got the card, Mormon in good standing. Obviously, you must believe in it. And I'm sorry, I don't want somebody who can actually believe such fantasy. And let me be clear, I'm a Christian, okay? But Mormonism is obviously a complete fraud and a fantasy, and it's absolutely ridiculous that we would even consider electing somebody who is capable of believing such rubbish to be the leader of this country. So, but beyond that, he's not a conservative. I mean, the man has done and is instituted. The hell, I'm sorry, this is my first video, so, I'm not a pundit, okay? I'm just a stay-at-home dad who's fed up, and I'm fed up with this BS of crowning Romney, like we crowned Bob Dole and we crowned John McCain, and that went really well, didn't it? And now we're in the same deal here, where just, the money and the establishment is with Romney, but I'll tell you what, this time I'm not going down that road. And I can tell you, I live in Florida, and I hear people all the time. I talk to people, that whatever situation I can actually talk to somebody, and they feel the same way. They're not voting for Romney. So anyway, so good luck with that. If we actually want to crown some other establishment Republican, and I'm not, I'm somebody who's driven people to the polls. I make phone calls. I'm not lifting a finger for this man. I'm not doing and I'm not even voting. I mean, that's horrible. I know. But as far as I'm concerned, he's just as bad as Obama. I mean, I don't see, when you hear him talk about taxes, and he actually used the term the 1% recently in an interview. I'm like, and that is supposedly the conservative. Option? No, I'm not. I'm not buying it, and I'm not lifting a finger for somebody who's basically looking at me and my family as somehow being, too privileged to deserve any kind of break. We've endured a heavy burden for quite a while now, and if the conservative option, if they're considering us to be the fortunate ones who don't deserve any kind of tax breaks, any kind of lowering of any kind of rates whatsoever. Romney is, to me, he's a manager. Okay, he's not a leader. He's a tinker around the edges guy, and that's not what we need right now. So anyway, I'm rambling, but I just felt like I had to get it out there. Nobody's probably going to watch this, but anyway, if you do, I hope you'll kind of side with me, and especially if you live in South Carolina or Florida. I think we're going to serve as a firewall. I don't think Newt's going to pull it out in Iowa. Iowa's, my dad's from Iowa. I have a lot of ties to Iowa, but Iowa is very unique. And they're probably, if I had to guess, right now, unfortunately, I think Romney's probably going to pull it out today. I think Santorum is going to come in second. And I'm hoping to God Gingrich comes in third and not Ron Paul, because that's an embarrassment. But it's actually irrelevant to me, because Iowa and New Hampshire are going to mean nothing. Ultimately, it's going to come down to South Carolina and Florida. I think Newt's going to have back-to-back victories there, and I think it's going to go from there. We may have a brokered convention. I don't know how it's going to go, but it's not going to be an easy ride for Mitt Romney, and I'm going to do everything I can on my end to make sure it's not an easy ride, and I'm hoping other people out there will do the same. That will stand up and will just say, you know what, we're not anointing another king. All right, we're electing a president. We want a conservative president, and we don't want Mitt Romney. Thanks.